Virgo, the air between you has shifted. You might not have noticed it at first, but something has fundamentally changed in the last 24 hours. There's a new tension in the atmosphere, a different quality to the silence that now separates you. It's as if the universe pressed a reset button while you were sleeping, and everything that was once predictable and familiar has been rearranged into something you don't quite recognize yet. And somewhere in the midst of this shift, there's a person who is absolutely losing their mind over your absence. They're not okay. Let's just get that out of the way right now. Whatever peace they thought they had, whatever sense of control they believed they possessed, it has completely evaporated. The no contact situation that you thought was affecting only you has become their personal nightmare. They're pacing, they're checking their phone obsessively, they're replaying every memory, every word, every moment you shared. And the more they try to distract themselves, the more your presence invades their thoughts. What changed in the last 24 hours? It's not something dramatic that happened between you directly. There was no fight, no confrontation, no big reveal, but something shifted in the energy between you. Maybe it was a decision you made internally, a realization you came to, a boundary you finally established in your own heart. And even though they don't know the details, they feel it. They feel the difference. It's like the cord that connected you changed its vibration, and now they're scrambling to understand what it means. The silence is driving them crazy. You've heard that before, I know. People say it all the time. But this is different. This isn't the kind of silence that happens when two people are just taking space. This is the kind of silence that feels deafening because they realize that you're not going to be the one to break it this time. For once, the ball is in their court and they don't know what to do with it. Let me help you understand what's going on inside their head. They're used to certain patterns. Even if those patterns weren't healthy, they were predictable. They knew that you would eventually reach out. They knew that you cared enough to keep the connection alive, even when they weren't giving you what you needed. But something has shifted. You've stopped chasing. You've stopped waiting. And that has thrown them completely off balance. Now they're asking themselves questions they never bothered to ask before. What if they've lost you for good? What if you finally moved on? What if someone else has caught your attention? What if they waited too long and now it's too late? These questions are eating at them, keeping them up at night, making it impossible to focus on anything else. And here's the thing that's really bothering them. They don't have an answer. You haven't given them anything to work with. You haven't reached out. You haven't given signs that you're still hoping. You've been quiet, and that quiet is more powerful than any words you could have said. Because it says, I'm not going to beg. I'm not going to chase. I'm not going to make this easy for you. I deserve better than what you are giving me, and I'm not going to settle for less anymore. That's a hard pill for them to swallow. They've been used to having access to you, to knowing you were there even when they weren't fully present. And now the door has closed and they're standing outside wondering if they'll ever get back in. So what exactly changed in the last 24 hours? Let me break it down. There was a moment, a specific moment, when you made a choice. It might have been conscious or subconscious, but you decided that you were done. Not done loving them, not done caring, but done being the one who holds everything together. Done being the one who gives more than they receive. Done being the one who's always waiting. And that decision sent a ripple through the universe that they felt immediately. They might not know it's because of what you decided, but they feel the distance. They feel the shift. They feel that you're no longer holding the space open for them in the same way you once did, and it's terrifying them. Let me be honest with you about what's likely to happen next. Because the silence that's driving them crazy is about to reach a breaking point. They're going to reach out. It might not be today, but it's going to be soon. And when they do, it's going to be with an intensity that you haven't seen from them before. They're going to show up in a way that surprises both of you. But here's what I want you to remember when that happens. You are not obligated to respond in the way they want. You're not obligated to give them answers. You're not obligated to jump back into a dynamic that wasn't serving you. The shift you made in the last 24 hours was powerful because it was about you. It was about reclaiming your energy. And you don't have to give that up just because they finally decided to notice. This time, if they reach out, you get to choose how to respond. You get to decide the pace. You get to decide if there's even a door open at all. The power dynamic has shifted and it's now in your favor. But let me also tell you something else. Whatever changed between you and them, it's not just in their head. It's real. The universe has been working to create this moment. Everything that happened between you, every moment of frustration, every tear, every sleepless night, it was all leading to this shift. You were being prepared for a change that would ultimately serve your highest good. And this person, the one who's going crazy in the silence, they're also being prepared. They're being shown what life looks like without you, and they're not liking what they see. They're being forced to confront their feelings, to decide what they actually want, to figure out if they're willing to step up and be the person you deserve. So what do now? You keep your distance, not out of spite, but out of self-respect. You focus on yourself. You keep building the life that you've been creating. You don't wait by the phone. You don't analyze their every move. You live your life fully because that's what you deserve to do. And if they really want you, they'll find a way to show you, not with words, but with actions, not with empty promises, but with consistent effort. The next 24 hours are going to be interesting. The energy is building. The silence is about to be broken. But remember, you're not the same person you were before. You've changed. You've grown. And that's exactly why this shift is happening now. Let me go a bit deeper into what's actually happening on their side. I'm picking up that they've been trying to convince themselves that they don't care. They've been putting on a brave face, acting like everything is fine, pretending that your absence doesn't affect them. But it's all a performance. Behind closed doors, they're falling apart. They're questioning their own decisions. They're wondering how they let things get to this point. They're angry at themselves for not appreciating what they had when they had it. And the more they try to suppress those feelings, the stronger they become. That's how it works with genuine emotions. You can't push them down forever. Eventually, they surface, and when they do, they come with a force that can't be ignored. They've been talking about you to other people. I'm sensing that. They've brought you up in conversations, trying to seem casual about it, but the people around them can see right through it. They can see that you're still on their mind. They can see that there's unfinished business. And some of them have probably told them to just reach out already, to stop overthinking it, to take a chance. But this person is stubborn. They've always been stubborn. That's part of the problem. Their pride has been a wall between you, and they've been hiding behind it for too long. But walls don't protect you forever. Eventually, they just become prisons. And this person is starting to realize that their pride has become their prison. Here's what I'm also sensing. There was a moment, a specific moment, when they almost reached out. They had their phone in their hand. They had a message typed out. Their finger was hovering over the send button. And then they lost their nerve. They deleted everything and put the phone away. But that moment was significant. It was a crack in the wall. And cracks, once they appear, only get bigger. They're going to have that moment again. And next time, they're not going to lose their nerve. They're going to hit send. They're going to make that call. They're going to say what they've been holding back. When that happens, I want you to think about what you want to say. Because the shift that happened in the last 24 hours wasn't just about them. It was about you too. It was about you realizing that you deserve more than breadcrumbs. It was about you deciding that you're not going to settle for less than you're worth. It was about you stepping into your power. And that's exactly what makes this situation so uncomfortable for them. They can feel that you've changed. You're not the same person who was waiting for their attention. You're not the same person who would drop everything to respond to them. You've reclaimed your time, you've reclaimed your energy, and they can feel the difference. They're also feeling some jealousy. I'm picking up on that. They might have heard something or seen something that made them think you might be moving on, and that has lit a fire under them. The idea of someone else stepping into the space they left behind, it's driving them crazy. They don't want to admit it, but the thought of losing you to someone else is their worst nightmare. And here's the thing, you're not trying to make them jealous. That's not the point of this shift. The point is that you're finally prioritizing yourself. And when you do that, it naturally attracts attention. People notice when you start valuing yourself. People notice when you stop making yourself small. And this person is noticing. They're also realizing that the things they took for granted, your time, your attention, your presence, those things are privileges, not rights. And they didn't treat them that way. They treated you like you would always be there, like you would always wait, like you would always be patient, and now that you're not, they're panicking. So what do you do with all of this? You don't do anything. That's the beauty of it. You've already done the hard part. You've already made the shift. Now you just let things unfold. You trust that whatever is meant to happen will happen. You trust that if this person is truly meant to be in your life, they'll show up in a way that honors you. And you trust that if they're not, the universe has something better waiting for you. This no contact situation isn't a game. It's not a punishment. It's not a test. It's a boundary. And boundaries are how we teach people how to treat us. You're teaching this person that you won't settle for less than you deserve. You're teaching them that your peace matters. You're teaching them that they need to earn a place in your life, not just assume one. And you know what? They're learning. Slowly, painfully, but they're learning. The silence is teaching them what words never could. The absence is teaching them what presence used to mean. And when they finally come back, they'll come back with a different energy. They'll come back more willing, more open, more ready. But even then, you get to decide. You get to decide if they've learned enough. You get to decide if they've changed enough. You get to decide what you want, not just what they're offering. That's the power of the shift that happened in the last 24 hours. You've taken back your power, and you don't ever have to give it away again. The no contact is driving them crazy, but it's giving you peace, and that's exactly how it should be. So breathe, trust, know that you're exactly where you're supposed to be. The shift has happened, the rest is unfolding, and whatever comes next, you will handle it with grace and strength. I'll see you in the next reading.